Okay. My name is Kamala Poudel. I am a Nepalese woman. I started my life with a great misfortune. My stepfather sold me for some money to the child traffickers, and I had to spend about 5 to 6 years of my life in the brothel house. And eventually, when I grew up, I realized this is not a good place to be. So I ran away from the brothel house and started living on my own. I was sold when I was about 5 years of age. So I did not remember anything at all about my family. And when I ran away from the brothel house, I tried to locate my family, but then I had no information. I was about 11 years of age by then, and I had no memories of my family. So I could not come back to Nepal to my family. Rather, I started living on my own, living off me. I started working in churches, in the roadside eateries to make life possible for me, survival possible for me. All this stress had its effect on my mental health, and by the age I was 14 or 15, I had mental health issues. And I did not know it's a mental health issue. I used to wonder why this is happening to me, why this is happening to me. Breathing hassles, anxiety, sleeplessness, all these symptoms were there. But at that point of time in Asia, the science, medical science was not that developed to find out whether why these symptoms are appearing. It was like some people said, I am lazy, that's why this is happening. Though it was not being lazy, it was an actual medical problem, but it was disregarded because there was not the science of psychiatry was not that well developed in Nepal at that point of time. Even in Asia, it was not that developed.
You were already back in Nepal at that time?
No, I was in India at that point of time in Manipur.
Okay.
And thereafter, I came back to Nepal when I was about 17 years of age. When I came to Nepal, 17 years of age, in Nepal also that point of time, the psychiatric medicines were not that effectively prescribed and all. So I started working as a tourist guide here, but wrangling with my mental health issues all the while. Now, the profession of tourist guide, I really wanted to become a good tourist guide, but it was very demanding, and my nerves could not handle that. And eventually, I lost my business and as a tourist guide, and I ended up on the streets. While I was on the streets, one fine day, some known people asked me to take a tourist to the Tatopani, and they were tourists, and I carried their bag and their children with me, and they went to Tatopani with me. But just near Tatopani, police raid happened, and they wanted to check the bag I was carrying. That bag had narcotics, but police caught me, not the tourist, because bag was found on me.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So I was sent to prison, and without any trial, without anything, because the police said she is a mad woman. I mean, this is the kind of prejudice and stigma everyone had, that police, just because I had mental health issues, they decided then and there itself that the bag belongs to me. And I stayed in prison in Nepal, in Kathmandu, for about 8.5 years. And in the prison, while 8.5 years I was, my mental health issues became more and more pronounced. Everyone in the prison, it was a women prison, every woman in the prison used to call me Baula. Baula means person mad. Very derogatory term for people having mental health issues. The doctor in the prison could not diagnose it as a problem. They said maybe I am deliberately doing it so that I can be released early. So that's how my prison life was.
You had more symptoms than when you were...
Yeah. Yeah, more pronounced.
Anxiety,
More anxiety.
more everything.
Yeah, and uncomfortable in talking to new people and all. Everything happened.
You developed some kind of phobia at that time?
Yes,
You were
phobia
interviewing
started.
for it?
Yeah, phobia started. And just now, just like before the beginning of this interview, I had to take one candy
Okay.
so that I can breathe normal during the interview.
Okay.
So that's how I survived the prison life. If I can't breathe properly, if I have anxiety problem, I'll take a candy
Okay.
which is medicated. So it will help me breathe properly and concentrate on the work properly.
Okay.
So in the prison, I stayed for about 8.5 years, and thereafter I was released from the prison back into the streets. This time I did not have money or job with me, and my mental health was very, very badly devastated. So that stage had arrived where I could not think properly, rationally, and I was like a medical zombie. People will come and ask me questions, why are you sitting here, why are you sitting here? But I used to think they're all my enemies. They don't want to help me. They want to create more complications. So I used to look at everyone with suspicion. But eventually one day, when I was about 9 months in the street, 10 months in the street, one fine day, people from Koshish came. And as usual, I was very rude to them because I thought they are just there to create problems for me. But they were so professionally trained people. They handled me very, very comfortably, very, very nicely, and they won my trust. And they said, we will take you to a place where you can stay, you can have food, and it's very, very safe place for women. So I was initially reluctant, but then I realized I have no other option. I have to go with them. At least they will give me food. So I reached Koshish Center for women, and there they said, you have shower first and then we give you food. So that's how it started, the new journey. The organization was very nice and kind, and I found home away from home. And for the first time in my life, I realized that I can have a home.
So Koshish is an organization that help people with mental
Yes,
health issue.
Yes, Koshish is an organization in Nepal from since 2008, and they are helping women and girls especially, but even men and boys also, who have mental health issues, and they reintegrate them into the society again after giving treatment, after threshold recovery, post treatment.
So they came to you and they came to help you.
Yeah. And after staying in the center for a while, my medicines they were giving me, counseling they gave me, breathing exercises they taught me, and all that. After about 10 months, 11 months in the center, I recovered at the threshold levels. And since I had no family, no place to go to, so Matrika sir, the CEO, the executive director of the Koshish, he offered me job at Koshish itself for sensitization and awareness about Koshish to the people. So I came to a position where I could help others the way I was helped, and I liked that very much. That God has given me a chance to return back to the society what I received from the society. So I love my job very much. I feel very blissful when I help other women because I know how it feels, because I was in that state once. So now these days I'm working as a program officer, sensitization and awareness. I try to go to the government offices carrying self-advocacy campaigns, and I go to people telling them mental health issues are just as normal as other diseases. There is no need to stigmatize it or to get prejudice against it, and certainly it's not a witchcraft. But Nepalese society is very orthodox, and in the villages, remote areas, still today till today, people, the older generations believe that mental health issues are like a witchcraft. So it's very challenging to go and convince them that it's just as normal as cancer and cardiac diseases.
Yes.
So, but I get a chance to talk to people. I get a chance to help them mold their opinions about mental health issues. So that's how I have reached where I am in absolute bliss now.
Yeah. And so you go you go also in villages and not only Kathmandu.
Right
With
now, I am
Koshish?
based in Kathmandu
Yes.
and nearby places.
Okay.
I haven't gone to remote villages as right now, but it reaches the remote villages also because we have radio PSAs and IEC material, and we have our offices there also. I personally have not visited the remote villages, but Koshish has its offices in the remote villages also.
Okay. So you are doing work throughout Nepal.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
So now you are getting help from still from Koshish, like you got treatment.
Yes.
And what how do you have any particular like rewarding experience in with Koshish or any like I don't know how to ask my question.
Okay, rewarding experience in Koshish in the sense achievement of
Yes.
a beneficiary getting home, reintegration, and
Or
that
even
kind
in
of.
your work, yes.
Well, yes, every day in Koshish I spend it's kind of a new experience and enriching experience, and the rewarding moments keep happening when, like, a lady who was in the streets of Nepal for. Her name is Balkumari. She was in streets of Nepal and she conceived a child in the streets itself, and she single-handedly raised that child, but she had a mental health issue. So the rewarding moment was when she got the citizenship of Nepal. All these years she was without citizenship, and nobody was trying to nobody helped her. But at Koshish, when she came, first her treatment was given, then her daughter, she gave birth to daughter. Her daughter was taken care of by Koshish, and then she was taken care of by Koshish. And but the prejudice against her in the society was very large, because in the Orthodox Nepalese society, a woman giving birth to a child in the streets by an unknown father is incest, worse than incest. But society took it, swallowed it somehow, but they were not ready to give her respect, citizenship, which is a kind of a respect. So she got, just a couple of months ago, she got citizenship finally. So that was a very rewarding moment for us, because it proved a point that a woman, when she is raped or abused in the streets, when she is having mental health issues and she is not in a position to say no to a man, or she is not in a position to kind of bargain with a man, it's in that kind of a position she conceived a child. So that is not her, that does not reflect anything on her character. It was her problem. It was a, I don't know the exact word for it.
Done without any consent. And
Yeah. She's a victim. She should be treated as a victim. So that loud statement came out when she got citizenship, that she's a victim.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And so in Koshish, you were telling me that you are helping a lot of people every year.
Yeah.
How many people every year would you say?
Every year, more than 100 people.
Okay.
Because it takes a number of months to take the treatment, and then reach threshold level of recovery. Once they reach threshold level of recovery, we try to make them self advocates through self-help groups. We are promoting self-help groups of senior peer support groups for these people, because Koshish cannot be everywhere all the time with them.
Yes.
And their families have handled a lot while caring for them and handling the stigma and prejudice. So their family can give only limited support. So what we are doing, we are promoting self-help groups, peer support self-help groups. So people who have recovered and leading a successful life after having mental health issues in their life, we mix them with the newcomers who have just recovered. And it's a informal groups we run. In these groups, they can discuss their practical problems, day-to-day life problems, which they can't discuss with their family. They will be too irritated, and they cannot come to Koshish for small things. It is too far a distance to cover. So in their area, in the target areas, we have self-help groups. So people, all of them have recovered from mental health issues. So they cannot insult each other because they are in the same boat. And they can advise each other. Okay, you can't do this, try this. Okay, if it doesn't work, then this will work. So that is there.
Okay, that's really helpful for everyone
Yes.
to share their
Yes.
experience. And
Yes.
Okay. And do you see any changes in the way that mental health is, not treated, but mental health is taken in society nowadays, or?
Yes, there is, in the bigger cities and the bigger towns, there is a change perception.
From what you experienced to today, I'm
Yes.
sure there is
Yes. Yes.
a lot of changes.
And a lot of credit goes to organizations like Koshish, who are constantly doing advocacy with the government. And doing sensitization of the government officers, the bureaucratic officers, so that they can take mental health as a serious challenge. Because I remember when COVID pandemic was at its height, we went to health ministry, and the health minister said, COVID is more bigger a problem than mental health. You have come for mental health at this hour. So we tried to stress the point, and we said, sir, this is the time when mental health well-being is needed the most. And this is the time people need to be normal and calm. So this is how it should be. So they did not get convinced with that. But eventually after COVID, they realized mental health issues are a big problem. Now in Nepal at present, more than 20 people commit suicide every day. In a small poor country like Nepal, this is too big a number. So we have filed public interest litigations in the Supreme Court and other places. We are advocating with the government, and we are doing direct service delivery also. We go to remote areas and create mental health camps, OPDs, so to give medicines and all, so that people can come out of their fear and phobia of hiding the disease, and they can recover. Yeah.
Okay. In particular during COVID, people were really isolated.
Isolated,
So
yes.
That created more.
Yes.
More like it emphasized the symptoms of people, like
Yes.
reinforced. I think you want to add anything? We can. Like, what would you say to people that are struggling today? Like, any motivation, advice, or that you could have when you were in difficult times, for example?
Well, I would say that no matter what the disease may be it mental health, be it cancer, be it cardiovascular, be it HIV, people should not lose the hope, because if we have hope in our life, we have everything. Of course, one has to die someday, sometime, but before death we should not die. So mental health issues are very, very normal issues now. Even small children are suffering from mental health stress. So it's not a big thing. It should not be stigmatized. It should not be prejudiced against. And people should come out and openly declare, yes, I have a mental health issue, but I'm leading a normal life.
Yeah, it shouldn't create a division in the society
Yeah,
between
yeah,
people who don't have, even though everyone is facing some
yeah,
difficulties at some point, I think,
Yeah.
in life.
yeah.
But it shouldn't create a separation, like a division within the society.
Yeah.
I think we're good. I don't
Okay.
know. Do you want to add anything?
Not really. I mean, I think I've said more than.
Yes, what you were planning to say.
Yeah, yeah.